Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Bear-Eberhardt, and I'm going to take just a few minutes to talk to you about the differences between the short answer and long answer options in the Carmen quizzes. So start by logging into your Carmen at carmen.osu.edu and click on the course that you want to create a question in. Next, we're going to select Activities and then Quizzes. Once we're in the Quizzes area of Carmen, we're going to click on Question Library. And we can see that our test bank is starting to build up. We have a few questions in there. We're going to make a new one. So we're going to click Go. And let's start by talking about the short answer question. All of this up here looks fairly familiar. If you've made questions in Carmen before, I strongly suggest you create a title so that when you are setting up your quiz in the future, you know exactly what this question is about. Give it a point value, a difficulty level, and then type your question into that area right there. Now, a short answer question is not what we may typically think of it as. It doesn't mean a sentence for an answer or even necessarily a fragment. It would literally be a word and at the most two. The difficulty of this particular type of question is that whatever you put in as your answer, your students must type it in exactly correctly or it will be incorrect. Let's say, for example, we wanted our students to answer the question of who is the first American president. We're going to give this a title. A point value, 1 is fine with me. I'm going to type in my question. I could upload a picture if I wanted to. And now I'm going to enter in my answer. Now, if my students were to just type in Washington, for example, Carmen is going to count it incorrect. This is a computer program, so it doesn't know that Washington is correct. It's going to look for the student to type in exactly what you did as the correct answer. If you don't care about caps, you can collect case insensitive. If you do, however, care about caps, you can make it sensitive, which means that if the student types in, even if they type in George Washington, but the G and the W are not capitalized, Carmen is going to count it incorrect. So we'll give it a weight of 100 because that would be the correct answer. I can give it a hint or provide question feedback. If I wanted to add another potential answer, I can click on this. Now what this means is that if I want to tell Carmen that Washington is acceptable, I can put in Washington. However, I told my students that they needed to provide first and last names. I might give the student 50%. Again, if I care about the capitals, I can choose one of these two. If I had this as an option and I decided I didn't like it anymore, I can always click on the trash can and that would delete that. So short answers can be a little tricky, but they're not what we typically think of as short answers, which may be something like a sentence or two. It is literally a word or two. Now, if I wanted my students to put in a list, then I can add in another blank. So if I wanted to ask my students, for example, who is the first and second American presidents, I can ask them that, and then they will have two blanks to fill in. Okay, so I do the same thing, so I could put John Adams. I want to say that Adams would be acceptable. Okay, I have to give them the weight values. John Adams would be worth 100% of the points. Adams alone would only be worth 50% of the points. And that is a short answer. And I could keep going. I could add another blank if I wanted to expand the question and so on and so forth. If I'm satisfied with my questions, I can click Save. And we see it has populated here. SA, of course, is short answer. Now, the difference then between short answer and long answer is the obvious. The options for the students in a long answer is that this needs to be graded by you, the instructor. This is not going to be a Carmen graded question. So you would type your question in here as you normally would, give it a title, give it points, but down here in the input box, you really want to tell Carmen how long you want to let it be. If you're asking the students to write a short essay, for example, you're going to want to give them as much possible room to write as you can. So you could give them 50 rows. Again, if you wanted to provide them any hints, you could, any feedback you could. However, feedback's not really going to be applicable when the students don't know what they've received on it because you haven't graded it yet. If you want to create an answer key, you can. That's more for your own purposes. You can click Save. Of course, this pops back up because I haven't entered anything in, but once you click Save, you'd see it populate in your test bank. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me or Joni Tornwall for assistance in creating short or long answer questions in Carmen. Thank you.